Did you know there's such thing as being a podcast agent? Neither did I. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tatiana and I want you to join me in my laptop lifestyle journey. Today I want to talk to you about ways you can be more productive when you just don't feel like it, when you're depressed, or you just don't know what to do next. Oftentimes, this can be attributed to something called analysis paralysis. I'm going to talk about what that is and exactly how you can get out of it. So let's get right into it. So what exactly is analysis paralysis? Well, I have the definition pulled up on my phone. So according to Investopedia, it refers to a situation in which an individual or group is unable to move forward with a decision as a result of overanalyzing data or overthinking a problem. So essentially what you're doing is you're overthinking something so much to the point that you've made this decision much bigger than what it actually is. All this added pressure is overwhelming you to the point that you can't make up your mind. Yeah, I've been there and it's not fun. In fact, I was in this situation for about 3 months or so. So that's why this video is so important to me, because I don't want you to be there. I want to share with you the things that I did in order to leave this mindset and take action. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Alright. Back to it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to write down what your goal in life is. Now this is probably going to be pretty broad, and for me it was that I wanted to be financially free. Then what you want to do is you want to take a look at the activities you do in your day and ask yourself, is this helping me get to where I want to be? Is this contributing to my goal? And if it's not, then you might want to consider switching out some of those activities for others that are going to help you. And in this manner, you'll get to that goal a lot faster. Another thing you want to consider doing is writing out short-term and long-term goals. Obviously, this might seem a little difficult at first. When I first started, I had no idea what I was going to do next, but you can still set up some goals. For instance, my goals at the time were I wanted to find a job, and I wanted to find what industry that job would be in that would suit me best. Now, as time went on and I did my own research and my own exploration, I realized that probably wasn't going to be my goal anymore, and that's okay, because the point of setting goals is to help get you started. If you're someone who struggles with setting goals, then consider investing in a goal-setting book. A good friend of mine gifted me this book. It's called 100-Day Journal, and what this journal does is it allows you to choose a goal that you want to achieve in 100 days, and then it divides it into 10-day checkpoints. What this does is this allows you to create sub-goals, and you can adjust it as you go on so that your final goal doesn't seem so overwhelming anymore. Every morning I wake up and I write in my journal what I want to accomplish that day, how I'm going to accomplish it, and I make a little schedule for myself. Now the book prompts me to do all this, so it's not like I have to come up with it myself. In the evening I come back to it and I write down what worked, what didn't work, and what I think I can do better tomorrow. So if time management and staying on track is something that's difficult for you, really do consider buying some kind of a goal-setting book. It's really going to help you. So the second thing you want to consider doing is start engaging in your hobbies. Write down your hobbies in order of favorite to least favorite and start participating in them. Now do it because you want to and not because you have to. Because if you're anything like me, you're probably burnt out at this point. And the point of doing these hobbies is to find something that excites you. You want to know what that feeling is again, to be motivated to do something. And while you're engaging in these hobbies, ask yourself, is this something that I can make money with? Is there a way for me to monetize it? And if so, this might be a path you want to explore, but make sure this is something that's sustainable and that you won't burn out in the future. If you think that's going to be the case, then move on to the next hobby. Because what we're trying to do here is we're trying to leverage the skills you already know. Because these are your hobbies and you've engaged in them in the past, you already know more than the average beginner. So you have a leg up, and we're trying to use those skills in order to boost your momentum and get you moving forward. And if they're hobbies, they're generally something you enjoy. Another thing that might come out of this is that maybe you don't want this to be your full-time job, but you do figure out a way to monetize it, then maybe make it your side hustle. For instance, if you're an artist, you can probably sell some of your art prints, and that's not something that you have to put all your effort into. You still have that time and energy to put it into finding another path, something that you do want to do full-time. This is a great way of making money while still continuing your exploration process. So the third thing you want to consider doing is write down your list of interests. Ask yourself what it is that you look up in your free time and what you want to learn more about. Write them down somewhere, because what you want to do is you want to look at these lists of interests and ask yourself, what jobs are related to these? What jobs are focused on learning more about the specific topic? Why this is so great is because even though you don't have the skills to necessarily jump right into it, you at least have the motivation and the natural curiosity to go after it, to succeed. You're gonna put in the time and effort to really get better at it because it's something that you're naturally curious about and you naturally want to learn more. So if you're stuck and you don't really know what kind of jobs are related to these topics or how they fit in with your interests, then start looking it up. Look at people who are leading the life you want to live and ask yourself, how are they making money in order to do this? What did they do in order to make this their job and to make it sustainable? For instance, I know a lot of people want to travel in their life. Well, look up YouTubers. How are they able to do that? Do they have a successful blog that they run? Are they maybe traveling the world to educate others on a certain topic? You know, doing this exploration is going to help you come up with new ideas for ways that you can make money doing something that you actually enjoy. Which kind of goes into my next tip, which is to explore, and don't stop exploring. While you're engaging in these hobbies, while you're looking at your interests, keep digesting new content. You know, read books, watch movies, listen to podcasts, watch videos, whatever it is you do, just keep an open mind. Keep thinking about new possibilities for yourself, because by doing this exploration, you're gonna learn things that you didn't even know existed. And one of these might actually catch your eyes. For instance, when I was looking at side hustles, I learned something completely new. Did you know there's such thing as being a podcast agent? Neither did I. What these people do is they connect an expert, someone who knows a lot about a topic and who wants to share it, with a podcaster, someone who hosts a podcast and who invites people onto their show to talk about things. You're kind of serving as the middleman to connect the two. That's crazy, but people actually pay money for this because they're too busy to find the podcast themselves. So this exposure is super beneficial because not only is it opening new doors for you, but it's keeping you inspired. It's keeping that momentum going so that eventually you will find what it is you actually want to do. I mean, this is how it worked out for me. I was on YouTube one day just looking up a lot of art things because I wanted to do something art related. But on one of these many searches, I came across a video that was titled like How I Started My Own Clothing Boutique. I thought that was interesting, I clicked on it, and through that video, I learned that it's actually quite doable to start your own clothing boutique. And honestly, it sounded so much like me, like something I would enjoy doing, so I seriously considered it. But after doing more exploration, I ended up on another video that dealt with some form of an online business that I had never heard of before. And that really piqued my interest, and after doing more research, I realized that that actually might suit my needs a little better. So then I shift past and I started focusing on that. So while one thing may sound like your thing, keep exploring, don't stop, because there might be something that actually suits your needs a lot better. You know, listen to your gut and trust your instincts. At the end of the day, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find something that gets you up in the morning. So the fifth thing you want to consider doing is to shift your mindset. Now I know this is not easy, especially if you're depressed and that's a reason for your unproductivity, because believe me, I've been there. I'm a big believer that self-help books are never going to help you unless you're in the right mindset to begin with. You know, in the past I read many of those books and honestly, they didn't do anything for me, and I think that's just because I wasn't ready for change and I wasn't ready to take action. But then suddenly, a couple months ago, I read a different book and it just changed everything for me. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and my mind was blown, and I think it affected me so much because at the time I was ready for change. I was so sick and tired of being unmotivated and having no energy every single day. So when I read this book and I was able to relate to it a lot, I was like, yeah, I can do this, and I do want to be financially free, and I have the power to achieve that. So that's really what motivated me. Another thing is stop waiting for the time to be perfect. It will never be perfect. Just take those little baby steps. Don't get so caught up on the fact that, oh my God, today could have been way more productive than what it actually was. No, we want to have this positive mindset. We want to celebrate our achievements. So even if in the span of a day, you only do one productive thing, pat yourself on the back, you know, like that's awesome. You were able to do one more thing that you weren't able to do yesterday. And even if you have a completely unproductive day, that's okay because you still have tomorrow to do better. What these baby steps are gonna do is they're gonna accumulate so that in the end, you're able to achieve your goal. Like Nike says, just do it. The last thing I want you to do is to just breathe. You will find what it is you're meant to be doing. Just trust the process and don't rush it. Because if you do, you're probably gonna end up right back where you started, unmotivated, unenergized, and you're probably gonna be in a job that you don't enjoy. So don't do that to yourself. Like I said, it might take time. For me, it took A total of 5 months to actually get remotely close to what it is that I wanted to do. In other words, it took me 3 months of analysis paralysis, which was not a good time, and then it took me another 2 months of exploring and researching to really figure out what it was, that one thing that I wanted to focus on. So that's a total of 5 months. Now, hopefully for you it won't be that long, but even if it is, or if it's longer, then that's okay. As long as you're being proactive and you're taking these little steps, you will get there. I don't need you to employ these tactics all at once in one day. That's gonna overwhelm you, and it's probably gonna lead you back to analysis paralysis. So again, take one step at a time, do what works for you, and go from there. If you invest in this journey, you'll get what you put into it, so you really shouldn't regret it if you're giving it your all. Well, thanks for listening to another one of my videos. I really hope that I was able to inspire you to take action and begin your journey. Let me know in the comments below, what is your goal in life? I want to know. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell because you don't want to miss my next video. Where as part of my laptop lifestyle journey, I want to share with you my experience as a new YouTuber in 2020 and different tips you can use in order to really help your channel grow, especially as you upload your first video. Alright, well, I wish you the best of luck and I hope to see you next time. Bye!